The direct-to-consumer market have been taking a larger share than the major brands would want when it comes to the iron department. The likes of your Takomos, your Callies, your McGregors, your Ben Hogans, your Ram clubs are certainly seen in a lot more golf bags than they were 10 years ago. But for me, there's something we need to discuss, because all of those clubs that we've named there, you've probably heard of them all. You've maybe tested them, you've maybe even owned a couple of sets, and that's because of those price points they come in at. We've got another one today that has been requested a lot on the channel, and with the first shot of them straight away, middle of the green, they do perform. And price point's a big talking point, because you can get these clubs from as little as £299, you can get them up to maybe £800, but £800 would put them amongst those premium brands. And a lot of people, when they think of D2C clubs, think that they're not premium, they're not as good as your TaylorMade, your Titleist, your Callaway's. And you might be right, some of those maybe don't have as much R&D in there, maybe there's not enough in their designs to make them as consistent, but some of those are potentially as good and maybe just more affordable because their marketing budgets are slightly different. We know your TaylorMade, your Callaways, your Titleist have huge marketing budgets. We see them on screen, we see them with the tour players, and obviously they're putting a lot of money into that. But direct consumers have become increasingly popular, and today we are talking about some Haitch irons that have been requested for a long time. And today we are talking about, if I pronounce this right, the Burleigh Series Pro iron. So a forged iron coming in at 1,399 Aussie dollars. So yes, you thought that was probably expensive straight away, but if we convert that, that's coming around about £670 here in the UK. So right up there with the likes of your Takomos and Callies and Ben Hogans. But you can see straight away there, it's a forged premium club. We can see that it's got a custom ferrule on there, so something that again looks a little bit different, but performance wise straight away, that's performed exceptionally well. Well inside tour average on this par 3. And unfortunately, the putter that costs about the same as those irons has let me down, slightly short there, but giving us a great chance there. But where do we go from this? Because obviously if we're thinking about direct to consumer, a lot of people say they enjoy them. A lot of people then say, well, I'm not sure because you can't get fitted. Haitch do say they can be custom fit, so at that price, if they can be custom fit in person, that probably puts them right at the top of the list. Now if we talk a little bit about these irons, you can see they look absolutely fantastic, but you can get them in different options. So you will see they range from 875 Aussie dollars all the way up to that 1400, because you can change between what clubs you have in. They do provide a 4 to A wedge, but you might stop at a 7 iron if you're going to do a combination set. So this is where these could be a good option for you to do a split set. They do also have a CB set on here, so we do have the Burleigh Series CB, we do have some wedges also on the website, and we do also have some Jubilee Series GI irons. So plenty of different sets here from Haitch. Again, a premium price so far, a premium look and a premium feel. Let's see a couple more. Now, as I delve more into the website, we can see that obviously shaft options very similar to your other direct consumers. We are getting KBS as our option. We haven't got any other options, but we do have a plethora of different KBS options to go into these clubs. Again, grips wise, we can start to have again different size grips on there. We have their own Haitch grips there, looks like a multi-compound. And again, you can see these do look absolutely fantastic. Again, behind the golf ball, ever so slight little bit of offset. If that ever focuses, we will get this to focus. There we go, a little bit of offset there, but again, a good blade length for me. Sits nice behind the golf ball. Again, a nice little touch with those custom ferrules. It's something little, but you will see that people do request things like that. And again, I know when Dave was down getting his latest irons fitted, he did have some custom ferrules put on there, because that was something that Dave wanted to have on his clubs to make sure everybody knows he's got new clubs. But performance wise, and this is where obviously we can do combo sets with these, because how many people are going to have this 4-iron in that Pro Series? I'm not so sure, but that felt fantastic, exactly what I'd expect from a Forge club, just up the left hand side of that fairway. Felt great, and again, I have used the Takomos for a long time now. I have gone into the CB-MB combo set, and that's potentially something I would look at doing with these Haitch clubs. But one big talking point obviously with Takomo is, with their new owners in the Bryan brothers and Grant Horvath, are prices going to go up? I certainly don't think they will. I think they'll remain where they are, so they are going to be the main competitor for these Haitch irons. But is there a market? Yes, because again, there is a space for everybody in the market. These might suit somebody's eye a little bit better. And again, we talk about that custom fit. Takomo have an online fitting system now, and I'm actually waiting for a new set of Takomo irons that have been online fit. Are they going to help me play a little bit better? But if we're thinking about custom fit and we can get these custom fit, then again, they're ticking boxes now. Direct to consumers aren't just a case of you buy them offline and you're hoping that, yes, they're half price, and you're just going to go, right, well, if they're not great, I'll just get rid of them. These are now a lot more premium components, premium fitting potentially, even if it's an online fitting, and that could potentially change your mind in what you are going to buy next. Now, get in the comments below, what would put you off buying direct to consumer? Is it the fact of that fitting, and would you do an online fitting? I know I've been skeptical over the years with online fittings, but I've had a couple of lab putters now which I've putted exceptionally well with. We'll forget that putt there, it was online, but it just wasn't the pace. But they've worked well. They've given me a good fit, they've given me the right shaft, they've given me the right head. I've picked out obviously what kind of things I wanted on there. And it's the same with this here. Obviously I'll know which shaft weight I potentially use, and then obviously flex wise I can choose that pretty easy. So why not go for these clubs if we are going to save around about 50%, I would say, or at least at worst between 30 and 50% depending which clubs you go for. But here's a wedge now. We've also had a lot of requests for the Maltby clubs, which I am still trying to get a hold of. For everybody who does comment, I am trying to get hold of these. But these Haitch irons for me feel fantastic, look fantastic, a fantastic price. So are they a contender for Takomo? I would certainly say they are, because in my eyes Takomo are probably your biggest direct to consumer brand. Are you buying direct to consumer? That's the biggest question. I see it a lot more, but do you have them in your bag, or are you looking to get some in your golf bag? Because that's the big question. These brands have certainly come up in the last 10 years. They've certainly rustled a few feathers with the likes of Callaway, TaylorMade, Titleist and Ping, because they are taking a bigger and bigger share of that market. So should you be missing out on some of these?